Welcome back to the Drive Time News. Derek Hanson with you here on the Mighty 790 104.7 KFGO. It's a Weather Watch Wednesday. Chief Meteorologist Too Tall Tom Szymanski with us. And I was thinking about maybe playing, the weather outside is frightful. It was chilly today. This morning, I was like, wow, it felt like fall this morning. My heavens.
I went to the local pumpkin patches. I was going to put one on the porch.
Yeah,
I was looking for a mask to wear, too, because it feels like Halloween.
Looking for the corn maze, yes.
Yeah, is the corn maze open yet?
Oh, my heavens, yeah. It is a little bit of a shock to the system. As you and I have said before, in February, we'd be wearing shorts and flip-flops, but it does kind of get in your bones when it's just amazing what the body gets used to and what it doesn't get used to. And 60 degrees, a little breeze feels cool in the morning, that's for sure.
Well, it feels good and cool anytime. I went yesterday evening to watch grandkids play baseball, and this was during the 5 o'clock through 8 o'clock hour, and it was breezy. The smoke was out, and I'll tell you what, I had a T-shirt, then I had a long-sleeve shirt under that, then I had a hooded sweatshirt, then I had a jacket over that, so count the layers, like 4 of them. And I was still cold, and I was thinking, it's like 63 or something, and I thought, I would not be wearing this amount of clothes if it was 63 degrees in March.
No, not at all. And it's just what you get used to for sure. It is the time of season when you have these, little snaps come in like this, and it's not hot and sticky overnight where it's, 70 degrees for an overnight low, that type of thing, where it does feel like you're dressing for 4 seasons. It's almost like when you go to the Ballards trip, you have to really dress and bring enough clothes for 4 seasons because you don't know if it's going to rain, how chilly it's going to be. And that's kind of the way it's been here the last 24 hours.
Well, all it takes up there in the Lake of the Woods area is for the wind to come off that lake, and you have a whole different weather pattern there.
Yeah, it is. Those big bodies of water, and, you grew up near Lake Michigan. It does make a difference, doesn't it? It changes everything.
Well, I wrote a thesis on it for my master's degree. It was my master's thesis production about Lake Michigan's effect on the climate, and yeah, in the summer, you get the lake breezes, it's cooler. In the winter, it's warmer by the lake because the water cools off slower than the land. During the fall, there's a greater frequency of thunderstorms downwind of the lakes, and obviously in the wintertime, there's a greater frequency of snowfall near the lakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just the snow, not the actual cold. Well, Duluth seems weird, though. It just seems like it's cold in Duluth all the time.
Except if you have a southwest wind or any westerly quadrant wind in the summer, it warms up nicely. I was there couple of years ago to watch a baseball tournament with my grandkid, and it was like 86 degrees the first day we were there with a southwest wind.
Wow.
All it took was that wind shift to come out of the northeast. The next day it was in the 50s.
Yeah, it's just
This
crazy.
was July.
Yeah, they get some weather temperature swings like no other, right? I mean, when you sit there in that point like they do with Duluth Superior area, that is a beautiful part of the world. There's no getting around there. So
I'll use an example here. Lake Michigan, not Duluth, but it's very similar. I think it was 89, I think my cousin got married, and they got married in the church that was about 15 miles away from the lake, and it was 101 degrees, I remember. Everybody was just miserable except me, of course. And we went to the reception, which was, about 3-4 miles from the lake, and it was 63. So that was almost a 40-degree shift over like a 10-mile difference. And it just goes in the wind. That's because the wind was coming off the lake. And it makes a huge difference. I grew up right along the lake, and I was always fascinated with that. So it's very similar to Duluth climate.
So that I've told you before about when I went to watch the Cubs and Twins in 2018 was the most hot, sweltering, humid stuff. Is that because of the lake too? I mean, does Chicago and that area, all up and down that lake shore there, all the way up to Milwaukee, does that get hot and humid because of the lake as well, or does
the humidity
that matter?
it can affect the humidity to a certain extent, but a lot of times if you're closer to the lake, you'll be warmer than you will be farther away from the lake if the wind is coming out of the southwest or west. Because what happens is that wind goes over the lake, and then you get what. I'll use the big word here, the solenoidal effect, where it rises and then cools aloft, and then when it sinks, it heats, and you get that circular flow around the lake. So it can actually be warmer near the lake, as is Wrigley Field, real close to the lake.
Yes.
But a lot of times, though, once that wind comes out of the northeast in Wrigley Field, it can get cold.
So that's the reason that they talk about it quite a bit. I mean, going back to the old Harry Carey, Steve Stone days of WGN broadcasting, they would talk about the swirling winds at Wrigley Field, and that is true, right? I mean, sometimes it looked like the wind was blowing out in every direction or blowing in from every direction sometimes in that ballpark.
That plays a role, plus the tall buildings there also aid in that. They call Chicago the Windy City. It's not really the windiest city. It's way less windy than it is here. They call it that because of the
politics, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, right. That could be it too. Yeah, but the wind blowing between the skyscrapers there, because if you can imagine, if you have a water coming out of a hose and you put your thumb on the end of the hose, that puts more pressure on the hose, so the water seems to be coming out harder, right, out of the hose. You put pressure on the wind and have it make it go through narrow corridors. It feels like the wind is actually blowing harder than it really is.
Yeah,
that's the effect.
It's going to be interesting. Us being rivals with the Bears, you a Packers fan, me and a Vikings fan. It looks like they're getting closer to have a dome stadium. It's going to be weird not to see the monsters of the Midway playing outside. Sometime.
Are they really? Are they going? Are they going that route?
That's what they're looking at.
That'll leave Green Bay as the only non-dome city in the whole division.
Yeah. Well, and I think part of it is because, and you can imagine when you look at the landscape. We've never had a Super Bowl in Chicago, and they'll get one. And I think a Super Bowl in Chicago would be pretty cool, right? I mean, as far as that. And there's other things that you think about. I mean, Paul McCartney's coming to U.S. Bank Stadium. Well, if they want to do stadium stuff, and you look at all these stadium stuff that we've had with Metallica and Taylor Swift, and you know what I mean? They don't have a building for that. So they're missing out on some of these. I mean, Taylor Swift a couple of years ago on her tour affected the economy and saved the economy of many of these places who have indoor play. The Titans are getting indoors. I just think in football we're seeing more and more indoor stadiums. It's weird. I don't know if you've seen the Bills' new stadium. It literally looks like a toilet bowl, and it almost looks like it's enclosed, but it's not. Just enough to let all that snow in. I mean, just put a little bit more to get a roof on there, so you're not having that lake effect snow all the time.
You mean like the old Cowboys?
Yeah,
stadium?
That's what it kind of looks like. Only it's more. It looks like a toilet. Well, it's a weird look.
It's weird too, because I hope that the roof structure is strong enough to hold up to all the snow to get in Buffalo, because Buffalo just gets nailed with heavy, packy snow.
Oh, for sure. And some of the worst in the country, certainly with NFL cities, for sure.
I'm proud of the fact, though. It would be shocking to me if the Packers ever went that route. They won't, because they're a smaller city too.
I agree with you. It would be weird. I mean, if they did anything, don't you think? And it would take a lot of money. I mean, because I remember the big deal over the sales tax in Brown County. What a big deal that was. That they wanted to refurbish it. This is like in the early 2000s, and they did a beautiful job. But they keep on trying to do it. I know they keep on trying to raise money to keep on refurbishing it. But I'd have a hard time believing if they ever found the money to do it and they wanted to do it, it wouldn't be anything but retractable. Because I've been there in September. I mean, you want to be outside there in that open bowl that they have. You wouldn't want to. I don't know. It would be a lot of money to enclose it permanently, too. I mean,
they won't even do retractable. The Packer fans, they don't care how cold it is. They'll go.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. They don't care. It's kind of a tough guy mentality. Hey, we are playing. It's kind of like the old Met for the Vikings back in the day. I mean, Bud Grant used to go out there with hardly anything on his sleeves. Right. He's 5 below zero, and he's out there in sleeves.
But it is interesting, and I think you've said it before, within this, era here since, Favre took over for Mikowski, they're not necessarily always built for outside either with Aaron Rodgers and Favre.
No, that's the conundrum here. That's the irony of the whole situation. The way they play now, they're more of a dome team.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And their record at home in the playoffs used to be like the place that nobody would ever beat them. Now it's different.
I'm looking at this, and I shouldn't even maybe tell you this, because as we sit here on the 16th, we are just a week and a half away from having the Hall of Fame game with the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Chargers, a game that's going to be on 740 The Fan. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
That just seems weird.
But with it having been as cold as it was yesterday and today, I guess it's really not that shocking.
No, that's it is. Here we go. For this weekend, though, it looks pretty. I mean, it's not going to be as hot as what you and I like for you golfing me on the lake, but it's going to be pretty comfortable, right? I mean, yeah.
It'll be better than it was yesterday. I mean, we're talking about near 80 both days, give or take a couple of degrees. Rain chances this weekend look pretty minimal until we get to maybe really late in the afternoon or evening on Sunday. Then some showers and thunderstorms could move in. But, overall, the weekend looks pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that. I know you'll have your forecasts again throughout the day, and then starting tomorrow morning with the KFGO Morning Crew. Tom, thanks so much. Enjoy your weekend if I don't see you before.
Yeah, you too.
I think I'll see you actually Monday morning, because Jack will be off for sports and Doug's off as well.
I'll be here.
Yeah, so I'll be around for that. Derek Hanson with you. Too Tall Tom Szymanski. Weather Watch Wednesday here in the Drive Time News. Derek Hanson with you. Eric Johnson producing. Let's